Well, good afternoon, cats with the meow J. Hope you're doing well. Let's see if anybody comes in. I may need to refresh, so let me try this because my phone's been sitting for a few minutes. Hold on, I'm on my phone. Well, I'm always on my phone because I'm too trifling to buy a charger cord for my computer. Hold on. No, that ain't it. Okay, I'm back. I have 8 viewers. 1 minute in. See if anybody else comes in. But I'm okay. I'll just sit here and talk with cat with the meow J. Oh my goodness, it's 99 degrees outside. How are people doing this? It's crazy. 24 viewers. Type. Let me know you're here. Come on out of the bushes. It's okay. So I'm just sitting here. It's too hot to do anything outside. I mean, I'm sorry, but 99 degrees to me is just hellish. I don't know how people in the South, Texas, whatever, I don't know how they do this. I love the summertime. I don't like 99 degrees. So I'm just doing some dishes, got my headphones on. Uh, saw a little drop down that Bryan St. John went live and peeked in over there. And the first thing out of his mouth, hey, I lurker. Hey, Angel R. Hey, Lavina. I don't know how you do it, I lurker. I mean, you guys have just been slammed this summer with heat. And we've only had 2 days, yesterday and today. I mean, we've had hot days, but like it's 99 degrees out. That's 1 degrees away from 100. That's hot. I don't know how y'all do it. I mean, I know you just sat in the AC. I lived in Florida and I don't remember being this hot. I was down there for 10 years and I know it got this hot, but I lived like on the beach, so there was always a breeze. Now I'm in the Hoosier state and there ain't always a breeze, but the humidity hasn't been bad. Yeah, last year was worse. Maybe I only pay attention to people that's hot when I'm hot. I don't know. We're supposed to have some rain come in and take it down into the 80s within the next few days, I hope. I love summertime. I do. I love summertime. I love spring, fall, and summer. I'm not a big winter fan, but I don't like 99 degrees. So, so again, I'm just in there doing some dishes, and I see a little drop down. Bryan St. John went live, so I click in over there. I think I'm blocked from his chat. Hey, Flossom. I'm kind of him too, Angel. And the first thing I hear out of his mouth is me. Now, Bryan, I haven't said shit. I haven't been anywhere. I'm not hanging out in chats. You know, he's defending Laura. Okay, he has that right. I don't care. I don't like Leanna either. So I'm just over here minding my own business. But within a couple of minutes, he said, "What do you expect out of a Darlie Routier supporter?" That's the nuts and bolts of it all. Bryan, I'm not going back to fighting with you over Darlie Routier. Okay, it's just not going to happen. But I guess he was bored this afternoon and he wanted somebody to come out and play with him. Just leave Laura alone. I haven't said a damn word. I said what I had to say when I found out about it and I was done. So I don't know why he just picked me out of the sky, but he obviously needed some entertainment. So here you go, Bryan. I don't think you're blocked from my chat, Brian. You could be. I don't know. So I'm like, why in the hell is he? Hey, Shauna, I'm okay. Why in the hell is he dragging me up? What did I do? I'm not participating in none of this stuff. I think it's pretty obvious. Okay, Laura's facing the consequences for her actions. That's obvious. Uh, but what's even more obvious is I think the point has been proven that Leanna doesn't have content unless it's Laura, because Laura hasn't been live and neither has Leanna. So I think that's been proven. You know, I can say what Laura did was wrong, and I can also believe that Makeup Mobster is an obsessed fool. I can believe both. So, Brian, what exactly is your problem with me? What did I do? And then he wants to bring up Rel. Well, let's go back. Let's go from the beginning of when Rel first came to this area. Well, I don't know. Brian's the one that introduced him to all of us, because Rel decided he was going to go live about the Darlie Routier case. Well, Bryan obviously feels like he owns that case. Like nobody can talk about it. Because if Bryan wouldn't have gone into Rel's comment section and started shit with the man, he would have never known who Bryan was. Or any of the rest of us for that matter. But Bryan's over there going, well, Truth is friends with Rel to this day. I don't talk to Rel on the daily. But Truth is friends with Rel, and he told everybody to call CPS on me. Bryan, if you don't remember correctly, I was the one that tried to go in between you and Rel when your all's fighting was going on, because I was worried about your family. I was more worried about your family than you were, Bryan. Hey, Sarah. I'm the one that picked up the phone and called Rel and asked him, look, what's going to make this stop? Because I was concerned not so much for Bryan, but for his wife and kids. And Rel said, all right, I'm done with it. I'm over it, whatever. Bryan's the one that wouldn't let it go. So that's when I threw my hands in the air and said, well, okay, I've done what I can do. But if Bryan wouldn't have gone snooping into the man's comments about the Darlie Routier case, Rel would have never met Bryan St. John. Right, Sarah. But now all of a sudden, I'm getting Rel thrown in my face. Well, okay, I like Rel's content when he interviews these criminals. I told him, I said, Rel, get out of the drama. I was never in Rel's chat when it was a Bash Bryan chat. You won't see me in them. It never happened. But when Rel was doing content and talking about true crime, yeah, I was there. I was interested. Sue me. It's like Bryan woke up today with me on his mind. Ain't that special? Hello, Lilac Wine. That's a cool name, Lilac Wine. But again, he's like, leave Laura alone. I ain't said a damn word about Laura. I said what I said in the beginning when I first heard about what happened, and I've been done with it. I haven't sat in chats trashing Laura. I ain't never trashed her business. And again, I think it's quite funny Leanna hadn't been live since Laura went on a panel, because she ain't got no content. I don't have any respect for Leanna. I don't have any for Laura at this point, but I don't have any for Leanna. Leanna has no problem with Alicia calling the police on Corey over words on the internet. I don't respect that. You ain't got to like Corey. But you don't call the police on her, not over words. And Alicia proudly did it, and Leanna said, I wouldn't do it, but I don't care. Well, okay. I mean, how long's this got to go on? I don't get it. I don't know what got up Bryan's ass. He's like, well, I was listening to the truth over there. I ain't been live in a week. What? I mean, you're a day late and $1 short there, Bryan. You know, I was one of the ones that did stand up and speak out about FOD calling CPS on Bryan. I was one of the few. Well, one of the few with a channel. I never ran to FOD and thought how great she was. I don't excuse it to this day as some other people do. I didn't agree with that. I've always said from jump, you can say a lot of things about Bryan, but he's not a neglectful father. I know, Lilac, and I'm going to give it to him for a minute because I'm bored. Like I said, it's 100 degrees out, 99 degrees out. What am I going to do? I couldn't believe it. I mean, I am one of the few. I have learned, guys, over the years of being on this platform, that even when it shouldn't, your words have consequences. Even when they're just words. If you're on here and you're running your mouth to the point that you end up in a lawsuit, you end up with CPS calls, SWAT calls. See, I had me and Natasha Cooper, I went at Natasha pretty hard. And I still can't prove it to this day, but I feel like my real life was touched. So what I had to do was go live and say, okay, I give. Because being right was not nearly as important as my family's safety. And I think people forget that on here. Hold on. If I dip out, I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. I think people forget that being right isn't the most important thing. Because if it's affecting your home life, and none of us are new on here, we're not new. So we've seen the tomfuckery that goes on around here. So if you're going to put yourself out there and repeatedly run your mouth and something happens in your real life, it doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it right that somebody dipped into your real life. But maybe taking a step back and saying, well, I can either be right and I can pursue this and put my family at in harm's way, or I can just fold it up and take it home. I can just back off and say, okay, I'm done. I think we've learned that much over the years that we've been on here. So, Bryan, I don't know why you got a problem with me, especially when you have my email and my phone number. Because remember when you doxed my phone number out in your live chat? That's back when you used to actually get people in your chat. Remember what I did to get you back, Bryan? Remember? I went into your chat and dropped uh, the phone number of the person who called me because you were dropping my number, and I dropped their number and said, hey, this is my new number. You remember that? Sometimes I amaze myself. Why is nobody chatting today? Is it too hot to talk? I get it if it is. But Bryan, I don't know what your problem is with me. I haven't participated. I haven't been in any chats, dogging Laura, saying anything. So I don't know why you just woke up, or I don't know. It was 1 o'clock, a little after 1 in the afternoon when you did this. So I don't know, Bryan. What's your problem with me? You want me to fight with you over Darlie Routier? I'm not going to do it. I mean, in my opinion, you're truly being, as you say, ignorant. I don't get it. I don't know why I got drugged into it. I'm not doing nothing. I'm sitting over here minding my own business. I'm not participating in any. I'm not even participating in the whole bullhorn Betty shit. Because I'm to the point, if Sebastian's name is anywhere near that chat thumbnail hashtag, I don't tune in. And that's sad that I can't even, I guess there hasn't been any updates, but I'm not going to sit around and talk about that little boy's parents. Whether, it's his real dad, his bio dad, his stepdad, his mom. I'm not going to do it. I watched that go down with the Wells. I thought it was fucked up then. I think it's fucked up now. It don't have anything to do with bringing that little boy home. I mean, even people that say they're in it for the right reasons really ain't, because they're sitting there and they're picking that man's words apart, whether it be on the the mom side or the dad side. They're picking everybody's. It ain't about that little boy anymore. It hasn't been for a very long time. Same way with Summer Wells. I was reading up the other day. A kid goes missing in the United States every 44 seconds. Every 44 seconds. Now, that's not always, a lot of those have good outcomes. But it's like this community, that community, whatever community, I don't even know. They sink their teeth into one case, and it turns into a circus. And I don't care who you are. There's many of creators that I used to watch, I had respect for, not anymore. Not anymore. Because it's not about that little boy anymore. It's about what Seth said, or what Katie Proudfoot did, or what I ain't into that. So it's slim pickings on my watching on YouTube. I'm more of Law and Crime Network and uh shit like that. And some of these creators I used to like, but I don't have no respect for what's going on. I don't care if Bullhorn Betty went to jail. I think whoever picked up the phone and called on her is a snitch. And I don't back snitches either. Did I lose any sleep because Bullhorn Betty was behind bars for 24 hours? No. She should have known better than to go tinkering around a state where you got warrants. But I think whoever picked up the phone and called on her, I don't have no respect for them either. Hey, Twanda. Yeah, I don't watch anything that has to do with that little boy. Whether it's his dad, his mom, his stepdad, I don't watch any of it. And that's sad. That's sad. And like I said, creators that I actually had respect for, that I thought were in it for the right reasons, no, they're not. No, they're not. Because if they were, they wouldn't entertain this shit. having 7 different live streams over Bullhorn Betty is in jail. Big freaking deal. Does that bring Sebastian closer to coming home? And like I said, I don't care that Bullhorn Betty went to jail. She's a grown-ass woman. She should have known better. But to be honest with you, what she sets on her panel and says about one side is no worse than what Crystal, than what other people sit on their panels and say about the other side. I don't hear her saying anything more or worse, more bad, worse about the Proudfoots than I do other people sitting up there talking about the dad. So I just don't participate. I don't like snitches. Wasn't raised that way. I don't know who picked up the phone and called the police. I think it was probably Clue. I don't like that. And the funniest thing is the fact that most of the people dogging Bullhorn Betty for being in jail are felons. They have a criminal record themselves. You got to love that. So I think it's just all hocus pocus. I don't think it has anything to do with that little boy anymore. And I would have respected some creators a whole lot more if they would have just pulled back when it became a circus. Because in order for Bullhorn Betty to have that much effect on a case, then she has to be fed. And that's what all these channels are doing, is they're feeding her. Right, Sarah. Right. I agree. I can't even watch the Sebastian stuff because the people who cover it are nuts. And it's sad because a lot of the people I like, hey, Squirrel Sandwich. I used to go into their chats, but I don't want to no more. Because I don't feel like, and I'm not talking about the Christina Randalls and, I'm sorry, but real true crimers. I don't know how else to put it. But if it's not about Sebastian, it's about Bullhorn Betty. Make your whole channel about Bullhorn Betty. Because we know how many channels have been built off the backs of Molly Golightly. Like her or not, it's the truth. I heard she's peeking her little head out. Big head, whatever. Now I hear Queen Bee wants to talk to Molly because Molly said something about Bullhorn Betty. Well, now you believe Molly? All of a sudden, Queen Bee, you believe Molly? You believe what Molly has to say? When Molly makes a statement like Queen Bee involved me in the lawsuit. Now you want to talk to Molly? You ain't never believed her. Why? All of a sudden. Broke ass true crime community. Yes, Beth. You love Christina Randall? Well, see, to me, Sarah, she's a real true crime channel. She's real. Just my opinion. Not everyone talking about these cases have good intentions. It becomes a circus when money and yeah, I agree, Trixie. And I believe that you can be an honest, decent true crimer and still make money. I believe that's possible. I don't dog anybody that makes money, but when money becomes your priority, then let's face it, it's no longer about these kids. And it happens on a lot of different trials. Not trials, but a lot of different cases. The Summer Wells case, the Simon, the little boy, adorable little boy, Quentin Simon case. Hey, Courtney. How many times have we seen a monkey's case? And then we see the parents come on to social media and contribute to the circus. Yeah, the Wade Wilson case. I have been following that, but I've been following it through like Law & Crime, and um, I have been watching Phone Calls from Prison. I like that channel, and Pablo or whatever his name is. I don't know. I mean, I like him. He seems okay, but when it comes to these kid cases, these cases concerning littles, it seems like the kids never stay the main focus. It always ventures off into, well, their parents had a funny look on their face when they were talking. Look at this interview. What's that supposed to mean? Look at this interview. I'm like, I don't want to hear that. Somebody asked me, I put up a community post about Sebastian the other day, and somebody came into my comments and said, well, what's your theory? And I said, well, if I threw that out there, and then they didn't mean nothing by it. They were very nice about it. But I said, if I throw that out there, that makes me no better than these other people. I'm telling you. I mean, my son's a grown man now. But when I was raising him, you didn't have this kind of internet coverage. But after what I've seen go down with the Wells case and the Quentin Simon case, and all these people who so against what these idiots like Dolly and Molly and Bullhorn Betty, they're so against what they do or did, the protesting and all. And hey, let me tell you something. Hey, Zero, if those crazies came to my neighborhood, I'd be against it too. But when you feed it and feed it and feed it and feed it, I mean, I think a famous person once said, even bad attention's better than no attention. Yes, Beth, they did. Sadly, that little girl is still missing. Well, I mean, I can have my thoughts about the parents and think to myself, well, that seems kind of odd. But I ain't never been in that position. Thank God. I don't I don't want to judge what I might, I don't know. I don't know. I'll just stick with the real true crime. The people that put the case out there with facts, verifiable facts, and I really don't want to play the game of, well, look what Seth said. Well, look what TikTok Tony. Who the hell is TikTok Tony? What's he got to do with the case? Because he claims to be a PI. I think we've had a person claim to be a PI in just about every case we've had on here in our little sector. I'm just losing respect for a lot of creators. I hate to say it, but it's true. I hate it. You know, I hate the fact that the attention is no longer on Sebastian, and it's all about his family. It's all about the people surrounding the case. It has nothing to do with that little boy anymore, and that's where I'll stay with that. Now back to Bryan. Bryan, I don't know what got your knickers in a knot this afternoon, but I don't know why you decided to pull me into your knotted knickers. Ugh. Sorry. I should have never said that. I apologize. But I'm over here doing nothing. I'm over here doing the least. I'm over here waiting for the next big catastrophe to happen because Christmas is coming on December 25th again this year. Can y'all believe it? I told a group the other day, I'm just waiting for the next big catastrophe because, people seem to forget that Christmas comes on the 25th of December every year. So I'm just going to go ahead and put it out there, people. It falls on December 25th again this year. So I'm just sitting back, you know, tapping my nails, thinking somewhere it's got to be a catastrophe. Somebody's rent's due. Um, Something's got to happen. here real soon. It's got, it's time to break out the rattle cans. What are we in? The September paycheck. And now what's rolling up is your YouTube. So I don't know. I don't ever, rarely do I make the quota. Oh, not until the middle of October. Okay, well, that makes sense. I don't rarely make the quota to get a check from YouTube. So, and I'm okay with that. I mean, I don't have a problem with that at all. It's just less taxes I got to pay at the end of the year. I don't even know how some of these people even pay their damn taxes. Hey, Dova. Long time no see, girl. I love when people like Dova show up that I haven't seen in like forever. An Angel. I might get back into the auto books because I like those too. Audio books. I like those too. And there's still a few channels out there that I will listen to. Why? Because they stick to the facts of the case. They don't talk about, well, mom colored her hair yesterday. She must be up to something. She got her eyebrows done. So that means she's not paying any attention to her missing child. I don't know. And like I said, the whole Bullhorn Betty went to jail. That's still happening. People are still talking about how long she's been out of jail. She's been out longer than she was in. I guess I just don't care that much that Bullhorn Betty went to freaking jail. These discussion channels may as well say, yeah, they might as well say they're drama. Because the poor little boys and the little girls, they're lost in it all. I mean, some people just show up in these chats just to talk about Bullhorn Betty. Just to talk about the nuts. They don't show up to hear about the case because they know they're not gonna. This place is an effing dump. If I was being sued, I'd tuck my tail. Yeah. Hey, Carla. Long time no see. That's what I said. Dova, if you're on here running your mouth to the point that you end up in a lawsuit or you got crazies calling CPS, calling police, calling, then it's time to take a step back and reflect. I just touched on this earlier before most of you got in here. I was going at me and Natasha Cooper went round and round and round and round, but something happened that made me think she might have been involved. I can't prove that. I don't have any proof, but it made me stop and think, wait a minute. Is running my mouth on YouTube and being right more important than the safety of my family? No, it's not. Waving the white flag over here. Because I can go to bed every freaking night knowing I'm right and the rest of the internet thinks I'm wrong. I'm okay with that. I've had to learn that, though. I've had to learn that. Because when I first came here, I would argue about the color of the sky. I would argue with, if I knew I was right, I would argue until the end of time. But it just doesn't mean that much to me. Not enough to involve my personal life in it. I've been down that route in the old Facebook groups. And hey, Daniel Berry, it's not worth it. It's why I never went into true crime on this channel, because this channel already had entered as drama. I had already entered coming into this fighting with Bryan and then Laura. Hey, Jess Fletch. So for me to convert over and try to be a real true crimer, it just wasn't. I would have to start over from scratch. Dover, like I said, I want to see how these people pay their taxes at the end of the year. Let me give you a little story. 1 year on here, in a year's time, I made a little over $4,000 in 1 year. I haven't done that but one time. I owed 400 and some odd dollars in taxes, 18% or something, 20%, whatever it was. I don't know. 18, I don't know what it was. And that was on $4,000. So these people that have set and racked in 20,000 in a year, 30,000 in a year, how they pay their damn taxes? Right. Not one single creator has solved a missing child case, but they've lined their pockets with them. Totally agree, Dova. Totally agree. Now, you know who never got any real credit? Remember the van life people who basically helped solve the Gabby Petito case. Remember? They're the ones that spotted the van out in the desert or whatever, out in Utah or whatever. You never got, what was they called? Red, white, and bloom or something. Now, those people should have got a lot more praise than what they got. But there's people, creators on here that made a whole lot of money off the Gabby Petito case that didn't do a damn thing other than stand out in front of the laundry's house and act a fool. And I told Molly Golightly back then, when she ran up on their porch, those people could have shot her. She was talking about, she screamed something about their house burning down and then run up on their porch. They could have shot her and been within their rights to do so. Was it worth it? Because let me tell you something. Nobody on this platform solved that case. Except for the van lifers who got almost no credit whatsoever for it. The people outside their house screeching made me feel like, I'm telling you, it was embarrassing. It was, you know, not to mention it's dangerous and it solves nothing. Do you think law enforcement sits back and says, well, I got 3 crazy blondes and a guy that thinks he's a turtle out in the middle of the street yelling at me, so I better go ahead and get on this case and solve it? Do you think that works? It was a way to bring attention to themselves, not to the case. I know some law enforcement officers. Never once have they told me they've been motivated by some middle-aged, overweight, blonde ladies. Red, white, Bethune. Thank you, Christy. Those are the ones that should have got the praise for the because they're the only ones on social media that accomplished anything when it comes to Gabby Petito. Well, Mallory going to St. Jude's and thought she could just bounce right through that damn hospital. Like, I don't know where they came from, Squirrel Sandwich. I don't know. Now, I will say that I did find some humor in some of that. Like when Dolly was at the horse pond with his little dollar store flippers and snorkel and goggles, swimming around in horse shit in a pond that horses bathe in and shit. That I did get a tickle. I did get kind of tickled with that. Sometimes you have to laugh at some of this stuff. I did get kind of tickled with that. I can't lie. But I'm just a firm believer that all these people that go on and on and on and on and on about these people are feeding it. They're just feeding it. If money wasn't a goal, looking for missing kids wouldn't be a thing. You're right, Stellar. Now, don't get me wrong. If a child was to come up missing in my community, God forbid, but if it came across my, like an Amber Alert or, like on your Ring doorbell, you get perpetuating the dumbfounded dipshitness. Like on my Ring doorbell, I get like alerts of things happening, within a certain mile radius or whatever. But if it was a child in my community, then yeah, I'd be out there. I'd be looking as much as, I could. Unless law enforcement told me, please don't, we got a plan here, then I'd have to back off and say, you're law enforcement. These people don't do that. They don't back off. And then the ones that don't like what they're doing go live about it every single day and just throw them more and more and more. I mean, even ugly beasts have to be fed, and that's what's happening. They're being fed. Then a lot of these creators have the audacity to drop PayPal, Cash App, Amazon links because obviously YouTube money isn't enough for them. Now I feel bad because I think my PayPal is scrolling across the screen right now, but I don't expect anybody to put anything in it. You feel like they've moved on to Sebastian because Summer isn't bringing in the money. Could be Dova. Well, I mean, we've seen this happen with so many different cases. And again, the other day, I just out of curiosity, because I'm sitting here racking my brain. Oh, when to talking about missing children, yeah. But I'm sitting here racking my brain. I'm like, not that Sebastian's not important, because he is. All children are important. And there is my point. All children are important. If you want to be a channel that speaks on missing children, wouldn't you want to give them all a shot? Hey, Sunnyside. Wouldn't you want to? I mean, don't give up on Sebastian. Don't ever give up on a child missing, But, and I'm not trying to be mean when I say this, so I don't want to come across like that. But Sebastian's not the only child missing out there right now. And they get super hyper focused. Sebastian's case is Summer's case on steroids. Yep. They get super hyper focused on one individual when there's hundreds of thousands of missing kids in the United States right now. It's unbelievable. And I'm not saying that Sebastian's not worth, the attention. But so are all these other kids. And it's almost like they pick a case and they know if they invest enough drama and bullshit into it, that it'll blow up and be. It's a lot, Thomas. Right. Think of all the others. And I'm horrible, Zero, because I'm always telling myself, I need to pick one child every day off the lost and exploited children's page and posted on my community post. And I always say I'm going to do that, and then I don't do it. But I don't claim to be that kind of channel either. She does have them like a puppet on a string. You're right, Dova. Bullhorn Betty's just sitting back watching them dance all around her. She didn't care about the. She didn't care. She didn't care about the. She can get up there and say she cares. She didn't care about the attention. It's attention. She doesn't. I mean, she sits up there. You hear her giggle on her live streams. You know, I'm telling you, if I was ever served with lawsuit papers over YouTube, then I have overstepped my bounds, and it's time for me to just pack it in. If I got police coming to my door every other day, then I have overstepped my bounds. If I got CPS coming to my door, then I have overstepped my bounds. I've been on this platform for a long time. Hey, critters. And Bryan said earlier, he's talking about leave Laura alone. I'm not had nothing to say about Laura. I'm done with it. I said what I had to say, and I'm done with it. I don't like Leanna either. I've said what I had to say about her, and I'm done with it until the next time. I said what I had to say about Alicia, and I'm done with it. I don't have to go live 3 days a week talking about this. I did that. I went down that route. I learned that it's a whole lot better to come on here and talk to you guys about different things than the same individual every single day for 6 months. Right, Dova. That's why I didn't understand why Bryan pulled me out of his little hat of tricks. I was like, well, I ain't done a damn thing. I'm sitting over here minding my own business. I'm not even sitting in the chats that are talking about it. Then he talked about FOD. Bryan, I had your back when it came to FOD. I guess I was he's missing me. You're right, Dova. That's what. It's the truth. Bryan just woke up this morning, had me on a brain. He could have just called me. He's got my number, or he could have emailed me. But what I figured out quick in this game is going live, talking about the same individual every day. I did that. Been there, done that. It's no fun. It will drive you crazy. If you're so hyper focused on one individual every single day that you are on a live stream, then it will drive you nuts. You will look for things to talk about them about. I know, I've done it. I've been there. So, if that's what people want to do, that's fine. But I'm telling you right now, I've seen so many YouTubers crash and burn. Their channels have just went to shit because they focused on one thing for so long that when they didn't have that to focus on anymore for whatever reason, their channels went to hell. And I'm sorry, but I feel the same way about Queen Bee. When she doesn't have Bullhorn Betty and the lawsuit to focus on and all the fuckery. Yeah, Dova. But I just think your channel just tanks. I mean, what did we witness with Mallory? I remember a year or so ago, you could go in Mallory's chat. She had several thousand people watching, thousands of dollars coming in. Her furniture was paid for. I mean, I think even her little she shed was bought. And what happened? It went to hell in a handbasket. And some people take this YouTube. I mean, this YouTube is you know, their primary income. I can't live like that. I've talked to the other girls about this. I can't live by the seat of my pants like that. YouTube can never be an income for me. If a couple bucks comes in or out, can you hear me, Sunnyside? All right, tell me if you can hear me. Sunnyside saying I'm muted. Okay. But if a couple bucks comes in or goes out of my channel, that's fine and dandy. But to sit around and bank on this, I can't do it. I can't live like that. I've never been able. I've had to know I got money coming in on this day. Hence why I always worked my whole life until I couldn't. This is a fly by night fucking situation over here on YouTube. Unless you become, a major influencer. And how often does that happen, guys? Not much. It just doesn't happen that often that you start with a little crappy channel on YouTube and you blow up into this big giant sensation. I just can't. I mean, look at today's economy. It is freaking horrible. And it's probably going to get worse before it ever gets better. And to depend on the kindness of others to carry me, I just can't do it, you all. Not that you guys aren't kind, because I feel like I could come on here and ask for anything and you guys would come together. But to expect you to do it, to sit back and see your YouTube check come in and it's not what you expected and it causes you grief. I ain't no way to live, I don't think. I mean, I live on a fixed income now. I've had my day in the spotlight, I've had the times where I was making damn good money. But I learned to adjust my bills accordingly. Hey, George Glass. Well, I don't know if that's what's happening or whatever, but I did remind everybody that Christmas does fall on December 25th again this year. It's a hell of a phenomenon. And I was just telling a group of girls the other day, I'm just waiting for the big catastrophe. Somebody's got to have a big catastrophe. Something's got to happen because it's that time of year. Tis the season. Well, here's my thing, Tawanda. I'm not going to get myself in a predicament where somebody has the grounds to even take me to court, because you got to learn what defamation is, and you got to learn to draw that line in the sand and not go there. Sure, Dova. Sure. I mean, I've helped people behind the scenes. I've helped people in front of the scenes, and people have helped me behind the scenes and in front of the scenes. I don't have a problem with that at all. But you can almost set your watch by who the catastrophe is going to be. I mean, you got a handful of them. But I don't want to be that one that opens my AdSense and my income dropped by 50%. And now I'm sitting here stressing on how I'm going to pay my damn bills. Because when you depend on the kindness of other people, I don't even know how people make that kind of money on here when they don't do nothing but drama. I'll sit and talk shit for free. I don't get it. I don't get it. But it's done, and it's done in a lot of different places around here. I want to bring up something, and I don't care who gets mad. And if you're a Jenny Jen Jen fan or whatever, that's okay too. I won't hold it against you. But there was a panel over there the other night, and it was disgusting. Oh, that's good, Dova. But this panel the other night was literally disgusting. And remember when Molly Go Lightly called us all garbage people, and everybody got, hey, Carla Ray, everybody got their feelings hurt, and they needed butt cream because everybody was butt hurt because she called us all garbage people. Well, that's a perfect example of what garbage people really are. Was that panel from the other night? Go watch it. Give her the view. Because it just told me exactly what I don't ever want to be. It just explained to me what I don't ever want to be, and I don't ever want to be that. There is nobody on here that I dislike so much that I would purposely drag their children into filth, that I would talk about an ex who has passed away, that I would actually wish dead. I noticed that, Zero. I noticed you didn't. I thought even they thought it was gross. I just don't. I don't know, guys. I guess I just don't have it in me. Doesn't make me any better than anybody else. Just makes me me. I just don't have that shit in me. I don't want people to die. And I don't want those words coming out of my mouth. I'm a God fearing woman and I fall short daily, but I don't want to tell somebody to die. What if they die? Then I'm fucked. I'm going to live with that for the rest of my life, even though I didn't have nothing to do with it. I just ran my mouth. I'm convinced these people giving creators money, many of them are on fixed incomes and very lonely. Not all, but many. It's sick what goes on. Yeah, the grifting is beyond. I agree. I agree. I just, I don't get it. I mean, eh, you get up on your panel and you scream and holler like a fucking lunatic, and you say horrible things about people. Which Jenny Jen Jen, she ain't a screamer and a holler. She just has all kinds of trash up on her panel to do her deeds. Um, but the most horrible things get said and discussed, and that somehow makes your day. I don't like that. Right, exactly, Zero. I mean, I've said some pretty bad shit on here before. And trust me when I say, and I've told you all this before, I know when I've crossed the bounds, when I've gone over something that doesn't set well with me and my own moral compass, because I get a pit in my stomach and I think, man, what did I say that for? Yes, I lurker, it would be. I do people just drop their conscience at the door when they come on here? Do they just say, well, I don't care what I do to this other human being. I don't care what I say about this other human being. And is that the way you live your real life, or is it just easier because you're behind a screen? Right, Carla Ray. I watched that. I haven't said a whole lot about his sentence. The judge followed through on the jury's recommendation of the death penalty. I go back and forth on the death penalty. I feel like if the death penalty was truly a deterrent, Wade Wilson knew the repercussions that could happen to him when he committed those crimes, and it did not deter him. So I go back and forth on that. But then again, I try to put myself in, a victim's position and think maybe I would want them. Well, thank you, Carla. You don't have to do that. But again, sometimes it's better just to shut up and not involve yourself in certain things. Me neither, Sunnyside. I would not be able to sleep at night. And I've had a couple of those nights where I've had to come back here the next day and say, I fucked up. I said something I shouldn't have said. I behaved in a manner I shouldn't have behaved. But I don't hear that coming out of some people's mouths. They just keep on. It just keeps getting uglier and grosser and uglier and grosser and uglier and grosser. I don't get it. That was very nice of Carla. I know there's people on here that have a conscience. And I know there's people that don't. Because you can't have a conscience and repeatedly do what you do 2 and 3 nights a week, 2 and 3 days. You can't. You can't. I don't care how bad I dislike you on this platform. I can think to myself, man, that is the nastiest woman or the nastiest man I have ever come across. But you'll never hear me say, I wish they were dead. You'll never hear me talk about their children in a negative, gross way. You'll never hear me talk about their deceased ex, nor will you see me have their current ex up on panel to talk about them. It's humankind. Do both. I'm all about talking some shit, but I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I don't want anybody to ever listen to me talk and say, you know, wow, people really look at me like that. I don't want that. I don't want anybody to be like that. That's why when Bryan brought me up today, I was like, I've been sitting over here minding my own damn business. I ain't bothering nobody. I ain't talking about Laura. I ain't talking about Leanna. I ain't talking about Alicia. I ain't talking about nobody. I just don't agree with the levels that people will go to on this platform. Therefore, I have learned not to fuck with those people. If I see they did something that touched your real life, what makes you think I'm gonna go on here and run my mouth where they can touch mine? My people. Oh, Nicolina's another one. Yep. But what makes you think that I'm going to put myself in that position? I care about my family. I care about my home life. I care about my dogs. I don't want fucking cops showing up at my fucking door and shooting one of my dogs because of some idiot on the internet. I don't want anybody showing up at somebody else's house and shooting their dogs because of some idiot on the internet. Me neither, Dova. Me neither. I don't want no part of that crowd over there. And again, the whole, yay, Bullhorn Betty's in jail. Well, somebody fucking snitched on her, and I don't like snitches. So you ain't getting no kudos from me. You think Bryan wants a hug? Maybe I should send him a big hug emoji in an email because I don't know where. I mean, I'm flattered that he thinks about me, but I don't know what sparked his, lit a fire under his ass this morning to tell me to shut up. I can't shut up no more than I shut up, or I'm just non existent on here. So, Bryan, why you want me to shut up? I ain't said nothing. And you thrown in that little jab of what do you expect from a Darley Retier supporter? I ain't fighting with you over Darley, Bryan. I did that for too many years. It ain't happening. And the whole Rel thing, I ain't talked to Rel in a long time. But I'm cool with Rel. I don't have a problem with Rel. I didn't like the way you went at you, Bryan, and I didn't like the way you went at him, Bryan. And I didn't like the way that you put your family in danger, Bryan. So I spoke up and I said something and I got in between it. And Rel was willing to listen, but you weren't, Bryan. I'm not in any position to. I can only do so much to protect your family, Bryan. You got to protect your family. Everybody on here has to protect their own family. And if it means you don't get to run your mouth 3, 4 times a week, that's okay. Does it make it right that somebody on the other end is fucking with your family? No, not at all. But if the only way to get beyond somebody fucking with your family is quit running your fucking mouth, well, then hey, that might be the route to go. Or at least that's the way I look at it. Because I'm a right fighter, but when fighting for the right thing reaches in and touches my real life, that's when I say, sorry, I got to back off because my family means that much to me. And if that makes me anything other than me, then I'm sorry too. We need to get back to having some kind of fun. And fun don't always mean you got to hurt another individual. You got to have a panel full of trash talking, crap. Uh, you can have fun on here and not hurt another human being. I mean, I would participate in a roast. I can handle it. I can take it. Don't get personal. Don't talk about my family. Don't talk about my kid or my dog. Don't talk about my brothers or my sisters. You want to just get up and roast each other? I think that'd be fun as hell. If we could keep it where it doesn't involve our families and shit, but it never goes that way. But I'd get up on a panel and do a roast. I think that'd be fun as hell. Right, critters. There's LaDonna in Texas. But I think that'd be fun. Get some old creators that's been around each other for years, and just all of us get on a panel and just roast each other. But don't make it personal. Don't make it about my family, my kid, my dogs, my house. Well, you can make it about my house. I don't care. I don't really take a house personal. I can do your mama jokes. I love my mama. My mama's gone. Yeah, it aggravated me when Starlight was always saying your mama's a whore. I don't. I think that's very disrespectful. But that's just me. I'd never say that about somebody else's mama. Um, as soon as Starlight saw that it got to me, she continued to do it until it didn't get to me anymore, and she quit doing it. Which she's over doing her own thing with the whole Gypsy Rose shit. But wouldn't that be fun to have a panel of old timers up here? When I say old timers, I mean been around each other in the same. Yeah, I mean your mama wears combat boots. I can handle that. My mama's deceased. She never wore a combat boot in her life. There's no truth to it, so it's just funny. But I think a good old fashioned roast would be fun. But nobody knows how to play by the rules on here. It's got to go. It's got to go further than just tit for tat. It's got to, it's got to get personal. It's got to get hurtful, and I don't want to play that. I got a sharp tongue on me. I don't want to use it. And like I said, I know when to wave the white flag. I know when to say, okay, I pushed this motherfucker far enough that they've reached into my real life. So now I need to quit pushing back. And maybe that's what Leanna's doing. Hey, happy, happy, happy. You know, I just noticed, I thought, Laura hadn't been live in a while. Okay, she's going through some shit. Her channel's tanking. Her business is hurt because of what she did, her own actions. But then I noticed Leanna wasn't going live anymore. I said, well, point proven. She don't have no fucking content if it ain't Laura. It's been at least 6 years. I look back on my about thing. I think it says I've been on YouTube since 2011, but I know I ain't been like on here talking and shit since 2011. Right. When it reaches into your real life, it's time to stop. You done tilted the crazy scale. I wouldn't go out here on the street. Truth is so lonely, she will spend happy hour drinking lemonade with the department store mannequins. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And converse with them. And they'll talk back to me just like my dog does. I never ask my dog a question that she doesn't respond. They're going to save me from the mailman. I have a feeling. Stop, Sam. Yep, it's that old evil mailman. It's all right, attack dogs. Speaking of my dog, let me tell you what she did the other night. She really pissed me off. Sunday, I made dinner. I made brisket and some mashed potatoes and I made broccoli with butter sauce for my brother. I don't eat broccoli. And some biscuits. And my brother's not been feeling good. He's had like a summer cold, so he was upstairs in his room. And I fixed me a plate, turned my back, text my brother on the phone, because that's how we communicate. Text my brother on the phone and said, dinner's ready, and turned back around, and Maggie had gotten up on the stove and ate all that brisket. And I texted him back and said, never mind. So there you go. I was kind of pissed off at Maggie. I got my brisket, but my brother didn't get his, and Maggie got the rest of it. So little bitch was able to move a plate of biscuits that I had sitting on top of the brisket. And I always use lids on my pans because when you live with a dog that sheds, Maggie's not a shedder, but Sam is. I always put a lid on my pans, like on my mashed potatoes, my broccoli, whatever. But I had set the plate or the tray of biscuits on top of the brisket. She was able to move that tray, not touch a biscuit, not move a biscuit. and without me knowing it, and I'm within feet of her, and didn't get not one sound. When I spun back around to grab the butter for the biscuits, brisket is gone. And Maggie's in the living room on the love seat licking her chomps. So I just text my brother. He didn't even have time to get downstairs. Yes, she did. She jumped up in the damn recliner and took her a nap. But I texted my brother. I had just texted him. I can show you the text. They were like minutes apart. Dinner's ready. And then I texted him back within 3 minutes and said, never mind, it's gone. Well, he thought I was kidding. So he come downstairs. I said, I told you it was gone. I said, fucking Maggie ate it. So didn't touch a biscuit, didn't touch the broccoli, didn't touch the mashed potatoes, but they had lids on them. But she was able to scoot that biscuit tray over without me hearing. And she hasn't done that in a long time since she ate those raw cinnamon rolls. I told y'all about that. My brother asked me one night, he goes, why don't you pop some cinnamon rolls in the oven? It's like, okay. So I went in there and I got a can, just peel and pop, you know, and oven's preheating. So I put them on their little baking uh, sheet, and I put them up on the stove top, waiting for the oven to preheat. And I walked outside to smoke a cigarette. I come back in, and my brother goes, Tracy, why are you only making 3 cinnamon rolls? And I was like, what? Because they come in a pack of 8. And I mean, who does that? Who would only make 3 out of the 8 cinnamon rolls? Can you even keep the leftover ones? I don't know. And I was like, what? And sure enough, she ate 5 raw cinnamon rolls. So now I'm freaking out because I know when they hit her belly, they're going to get warm and swell up. And that can't be good. So I call the emergency dog hospital over in Shively, in Kentucky. And because we don't have one here close to me, it's closer to go to Louisville. And they said, well, you probably need to bring her on in. I said, no, probably don't. Um, give me something else to do because I don't want to bring her in. I got to get these cinnamon rolls up out of her before they start baking in her belly because, the belly's nice and warm and they're going to rise. They're going to get bigger. They ain't going to go in. I'm thinking they ain't coming out the same way they went in, but they did. So I gave her a little medicine cup full of peroxide, which is what they told me to give her. Poured it down her throat. And within 5 minutes, she was like, bloop, bloop, bloop. So I took her out in the yard and they came out just the way they went in. I know that's gross, but it's true. Come on. They didn't have time to rise. Ooh, Doga, that chocolate is scary. Dogs, they're crazy. My pet ate a dozen raw homemade Parker rolls. Yeah. I had a crazy rat terrier that climbed onto the dining table, opened a tied up Walmart bag. The dog opened to take the box of mini chocolate. Ooh, I worry about chocolate, y'all. I freak out. I mean, I kind of freaked out over the cinnamon rolls. And then the other night, well, not the other night, a couple weeks ago, we had Kentucky Fried Chicken. I didn't feel like cooking. And I don't give my dogs chicken bones. I don't do it. Um, and I'm always very cautious about if we have chicken with the bone in it, then, when you're done, the bones have to be, put away and put in something and taken right outside. And she ate a damn chicken breast. She didn't even chew it. And before I could get it out of her mouth, it was gone. So, of course, I'm freaking out because, I don't give my dog chicken bones. They're cooked and they splinter. And I'm thinking, good Lord, uh, if something bad happens and it punctures her, intestines or something, I'm so screwed. And, there's nothing you can do until you see if they're going to have a problem. You can't make them throw up. They don't want those bones coming back up and affecting their, esophagus or anything. So I fed her like 3 pieces of butter bread and said, I hope it comes out as smooth as it went in, baby doll. And she was fine. So, needless to say, we're going on 3 years here, me and Maggie, and we're still not got all the kinks worked out, but we're getting better. Ain't we, puppers? Ain't we, Shaggy Dog? Mama loves you. You got cold puppy nose. I love cold puppy noses. We're getting better over here. And there you go, Bryan. That's how exciting my freaking life is. And I don't know why you dragged me into your goofy 4-minute live stream. My vet said give green beans when a dog has a sick stomach. We I had to put my boxer on green beans because he was a big eater and he was a little chunky. And the vet said to put green beans in his food. It's a filler, and he wouldn't get. What are you looking at? You're not getting. Look, I got a bottle of water, and she knows that when this bottle's almost empty, and she loves to play with empty pop bottles or water bottles. She loves to hear them rattle. And she's sitting here staring. I wish y'all could see her. She's so cute. Aw, Happy, what happened? I'm trying to go back in my chat. Well, Happy? Yep. Puree pumpkin. That's good. I need a puppy gate. I can't. My doorways are too wide. I don't have a normal doorway. They're all like big, like almost a whole wall. But 92, Happy? I keep pumpkin around too. That's right, Shaggy Dog. You are blessed that she's still here, Happy. And 92, man, that's a good life. You got a reason to celebrate come September. Well, I mean, come on, you got a reason to celebrate every day. We're here. Even though we're old dried up hags, we're here. My Marvin can jump the back fence. He's like Houdini. Yep. That's how my niece's dog is. That dog can stand still and jump 8 foot in the air, it's like. Maggie can't do that. She's a chunker. Maggie's weighing in close to 90 pounds now, y'all. I didn't do my homework. You're an old hag too, Sunnyside, according to Alicia. We're all old hags, and that's okay. The alternative is being a dead one. So I went to the doctor yesterday. Met me a new doctor yesterday. I told her it was okay because I had to get a new general practitioner. So I told her that it was okay if I got a letter today saying she didn't want to be my doctor anymore. I get it. I wouldn't want to be my doctor. She's young. She's fresh out of the military. She studied or she practiced at Walter Reed. And when you go in, they do your temperature, your blood pressure, your O2, all that shit. And while you're waiting for it, they give you this laminated autobiography to read. And all that swimming with the alligators. Yep, Maggie's 50-50. She's half purebred Old English sheepdog, half standard poodle. I mean, she was the first. I mean, she's 50-50. She isn't like, come from a sheepadoodle and a poodle or a sheepadoodle and a sheepdog. So she's actually 50-50. But she's got the sheepdog build. She's built like a barrel. She's not tall and thin and slender like a poodle. And I belong to this group, Sheepadoodles, and some of their doodles are tall and thin and slender like a poodle. Not mine. Mine is shaped like a mechanical bull. So I just chalk it up to she got more of the sheepdog than she did the poodle in the stature and the body. I don't know. She's a good old pup, right? Tawana's a good looking old hag. Tawana looks better than some of these 40-year-olds on here. A lot better. That's why I laugh when some of these people say what they say. I'm thinking, hey man, I got fewer wrinkles than you and I'm pushing 60. Yeah, you could. You can piss me off and I do. I still love Maggie. Of course I do. I mean, she's a dog and it's a brisket. She gonna eat it. I just never dreamed with having that plate of biscuits over top of it, she would have been able to get it like that. And with me 4 feet away, I could, whatever. She got it. She won that day. She got the prize. But again, I just came live to fuck with Bryan a little bit because Bryan decided to whip up a little 5-minute live stream and call me out, and I ain't done nothing. I ain't done a damn thing. I ain't talked about nobody. I ain't in chats talking about nobody. It seems like every time I turn on YouTube, it's drama about that little boy Sebastian, and I don't want to participate in that. I'm not going to participate in that ugly shit over there at Jenny Jen Jen's, which I never participate in that garbage, so it don't matter. Wog had him a 24-hour live stream the other day. Couldn't believe that. Hey, I was like, 24 hours. Yeah, but Carla Ray, there's no point in Bryan and I debating. We've been down that road. The only thing there is to debate is the Darlie Routier case. And I've been there with him. He's not going to change my mind, and I'm not going to change his. So I don't know why he felt the need to drag me. Tracy, you need to shut up. Well, I ain't said nothing. I didn't even, when that popped up on his freaking search engine about teen, y'all remember, I didn't even participate in that. I didn't even join in that conversation. Like I said, he could have just called me or emailed me if he just wanted to cuss me for 2 minutes. I mean, it was gross, but I didn't participate in it. I didn't talk about it. I didn't go live. I didn't join in no panels or groups or. Yeah, prayers. Tawana's healing. I saw it. I saw a picture of it when it was first done. It was gross. Right, Carlin, people expressed their opinions, but I didn't. I don't get in the middle of him and Vinny G shit either. Both of them sitting up on their panels. Vinny drunker and snot, and Bryan just being Bryan, calling each other PEDOs and garbage. It's like, who wants to participate in that? I don't. I will give it to Hondo the other night on Jenny Gent from what the little bit I heard. Because I didn't stick around for the whole thing. But Hondo did kind of defend the person. I don't even want to bring her name up because I don't want to draw any attention to this woman. But he did kind of defend her a little bit in the talk that was going on. Now, Jenny just sat back and laughed and giggled, just like she did when Michelle went to Bombshells. Okay, we're supposed to believe that Jenny didn't have anything to do with that. Okay, not buying it. Jenny has been proven that she will pay for info and all that shit. It's Stellar has a video up from years ago. Bryan loves and misses the special bond we have. Well, I mean, he's just gonna have to love and miss some more because I don't feel like playing, Bryan. I could come on here and drug you for filth. I could have brought back some old shit, but I'm not going to because I'm over it. I don't care anymore. So I don't know why you felt the need to drag me into your hocus pocus bullshit. I ain't got nothing to do with it. Now, see, I don't really like him, Tawanda, but I will give him credit when credit is due. And he did kind of defend, you know, he did speak up when it got really ugly over there. She let that Michelle back up after Michelle wishing great on a panel guest. Of course she did, Zero, because Jenny enjoys that sick shit. All right. I'm waving the white flag, Bryan. I don't feel like playing today. But Jenny enjoys that. Why else would she constantly entertain Michelle? Because she knows, and she even said so herself the other night. Let's talk about weaving bamboo mats or life hacks using baking soda. I don't know nothing about all that. I know you can use baking soda in your pool and it'll straighten up your pH level. I know that. I've been divorced by Bra. Well, if that's the case, he needs to shut up because I'm sure it said in the divorce papers he can't talk about me. I found it funny. I started laughing. I mean, he was only live for like 4.5 minutes, but it was my name was like brought up several times, and then he said, "What do you expect from a Dollar Your Tears supporter?" Well, okay, case in point. That's what you want to argue about. I ain't doing it, Bryan. You ain't gonna tell me nothing I ain't heard for 20 years, and I ain't gonna tell you nothing that I ain't told you before. So nobody cares. I don't sit and pick on Bryan. I used to. I mean, well, it was pretty equal. I mean, he picked on me too, but and back in the day, it was fun to go back and forth with him. Not so much anymore. A pinch of baking soda when you make iced tea removes the tasting, bitter tanning taste. I don't like iced tea. I quit drinking iced tea when I grew up because when I go to my granny's house, that's all she would have to drink would be iced tea. Well, thank you, Money Moves. Thank you. But I would go to my granny's house in the projects. My granny lived in the projects. So did we, though. But I'd go to my granny's house and all she would have to drink would be iced tea or ice water. And it was in these metal cups that was like colored. You had red ones and green ones, and I hated them. And when I grew up, I said, I'm not drinking that stuff anymore. I love my granny, but I hated them damn cups, and I didn't like her tea. I'd rather drink out of the water hose. I'm gonna find a picture of them cups, them metal cups, aluminum cups. Yeah, they tasted bad, didn't they, Angela? Critters. I know. And that's all my granny would let us use. I mean, you couldn't break them unless you took a hammer to them, like the old iPad death. But and that's all she'd ever let us drink out of. We couldn't use her Tupperware because it would stain it. Remember Tupperware cups? Those were like the first sippy cups. Remember they had a lid that came with them? But you get, hey, Cosmic. But when I grew up, I said, I ain't drinking that no more. And I will never use a metal freaking cup. And now I'm on the internet the other day because I realized my brother has a Stanley from like when he was in his early 20s and he's 60, 61. And I'm thinking, that Stanley is probably worth thousands. Those Tupperware cups are worth big bucks. So's my brother Stanley. Because it ain't one of the new Stanleys. He's had it since he was young. Hey, Steph. A teaspoon of mustard relieves leg muscle cramps. You know what else mustard does, LaDonna? And I just learned this. Like if you get a little burn, like say you touch a hot pan or, the oven rack, how you're reaching in the oven, you accidentally touch the rack, it hurts like a bitch. Put a little bit of mustard on it and then rinse it off and then put a little bit more mustard on it. It'll take that burn right out of it. So there you go. There's my mustard life hack. But yeah, so I'm not a tea fan, but if y'all drink tea and you want to take the bitterness out of it, according to LaDonna in here, just drop you a little baking soda in it. Why is happy, happy, happy cussing you, Steph? Well, thank you, Stellar. Steph, I don't think happy, happy, happy is very happy, happy, happy with you. Oh, yeah, mustard on a burn. I'm telling you, I didn't believe it either. And goofy me, I don't know what possessed me to do it, but one day I was unloading the dishwasher. And for whatever reason, I touched that coil. I touched something in the dishwasher. I want to say it was a coil. I don't know. But I know more. Now, you don't want to put it on a burn that where the skin is peeling back and shit like my arm that one time. But just like a regular old burn. Stuff happy. Y'all. It works. My sister-in-law goes, hurry, put some mustard on it. I was like, what? And hell, it hurt. It burnt. I'd put mustard on it if it made it quit burning. So I did. I put a little mustard on it. And she said, now rinse it off. And I was like, well, I just put it on there. She goes, no, now rinse it off and put more mustard on it. And it takes the burn right out of there. So if you get a little burn, if you're burning one and the seed pops and it lands on your leg or something, just put you a little mustard on there. I don't even know if people still smoke pot like that anymore. There's not even seeds in weed anymore, is there? Those burns never hurt that bad, I didn't think. Seed burns when you be smoking one and a seed would pop or fall in your lap. I never thought those hurt that bad. Maybe because I was high. They used mustard in pioneer days for many things. Madonna, you're going to have me going down a rabbit hole. All the things that mustard was used for. But it's been fun chatting. I appreciate y'all throwing money at me. You don't have to do that. Mustard works for light burns, and also mustard under the tongue is good for muscle cramps. Somebody else said something about muscle cramps. I think it was LaDonna. My rabbit hole's looking up Tupperware. I went down one over the Stanley cup the other day because I'm thinking, hey, my brother could sell his Stanley. And we'd go on a nice vacation. I'm sure that's what he wants to do, is take me on vacation. I use mustard on pork loin ribs. Yep. I like pork chops that have been seasoned with mustard, or, you know. We don't even want to get into the price of mustard, the price of anything. Listen, I think everybody, if you're on Facebook at all, I think everybody has like these little hometown. Okay, can you hear me? Because I got a phone call. But I think I go in there just for the comments. And there's this one guy on there, and he's cussing and carrying on and fussing because he's like one of those drivers for like Instacart, or, or DoorDash or something. And he's bitching about the tips. And he says, listen what he says. And like I said, I just go in there for the comments because I'm a good tipper, but I'm not this good of a tipper. He says for every item that you order, you should tip $1. So if I put in a Walmart order or a grocery order and I get 53 items, this dude wants $53 to bring them to me? No, I don't think so. And especially when they're not even the ones that do the shopping half the time. $1 an item. I was like, dude, you need to get a new profession. You ain't getting $53 out of me for 53 items. I know. I just went in to read the comments. And I'm a good tipper. Like, I over tip because I worked in the casino business for 20 something years, and I didn't live on the base pay that the casino gave me. I lived on what people tipped me, on the generosity of others. I had to learn how to entertain people while I was taking their money, and they still wanted to tip me. So, Alicia, you tell me all about your careers, but you tell me you could do what I did for 20 something years. When you got to learn to make people happy and you're taking their money, that ain't easy. That is not an easy job. But it was fun job. It was fun. Millions of stories, millions. I'm a people person, though. Well, I was more of a people person back then than I am now, but I'm a good tip too. I am. Even, I've had people look at me and say, what are you doing? Well, what do you mean? I'm tipping them. They don't make no money. But it was a fun career. I would encourage any young person. I mean, I didn't get into it until I was, I don't know. Let's see. I was in my late 30s, early 40s, I guess, when I got into the business. No, I was in my mid 30s. I don't No, I was right in my early 30s because my mom passed away when I was 31. So I say it's a great job for young people. I tip 15 or 20%, $1 if the experience was a nightmare. See, I don't even do that, LaDonna. I don't even do the $1 thing. I usually just tip them what I'd normally tip them and just never go back, because if the food's bad, you can't hardly blame the waitress for it. And if the service is bad, you can't hardly blame the cook for it. So, but the cook doesn't see your tip anyway. So, but I couldn't believe this guy wanted $1 for every item that he brought you. So I looked at my last Walmart list and it had 53 items on it. I'm thinking that some bitch wants $53 for bringing me my food. No, not going to happen. Best money ever made was a bartender. Tips were great, but you feel like a therapist. Yep. Yep. I love people. Just people in general. I'm a people person. Well, unless you're ignorant, or mean. And I had a lot of ignorant, mean people sit at my tables, but you just learn to overlook them. I mean, you still have to provide service to them. And you can't pick and choose what kind of service you can give them. It's a casino. You either got to take their money or give them money. But also know when to dummy up and deal. You know, if some people come into a casino, they're serious. They don't want to talk. And the car scene when she's trying to get... Who y'all talking about? They got a whole ass conversation going on. Happy, 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 and sunny side. I have no idea what they're talking about. Yes, Tawanda, you do try to find the good in everybody. Sometimes I just sit and shake my fucking head at you. But it's Tawanda, and I try to get over it. Well, I do get over it. I don't try. I just get over it. Because I think, is Tawanda really in that chat right now? But then again, I know Tawanda has a clone too. So I always try to double check. Oh, the movie Bridesmaids. I was like, what the hell are they talking about? But I've been on 46 minutes and 4 seconds longer than I normally do. I appreciate y'all coming in. I appreciate the super chat. Y'all really don't have to throw me money to run my mouth. I'll do it for free. Only thing is, Bryan, I ain't been running my mouth. So I gave you an hour and 46 minutes. I wouldn't normally do. But thankfully, it wasn't all spent on Bryan. Well, I love you too, Tawanda, and I don't say that lightly. I ain't one of these people that everybody comes in my chat, oh, and just love your face off. No. No, it don't even sound real to me when people do that. I love each and every one of you. I like each and every one of you. I don't want nothing bad to happen to each and every one of you. But love is a big little word. I was in the middle of cleaning Sunnyside when Bryan piped up. I was like, well, these dishes can wait just so I can go live and entertain this mug for a little bit. I love your kneecap, Stellar. I'll let y'all know if my doctor keeps me. Probably fire me after yesterday. She's a youngin' and I'm an old lady, and I probably need to find me an old lady doctor. I told her it's okay if she fires me. I'm all right with it. I just find another one. But after reading her autobiography, and it says in there, listen what it says in this thing. You're there waiting on her, and you're reading this laminated autobiography. It shows off her pets and her husband and where she went to school at and what she enjoys doing besides medicine. And, you know, I guess it's pretty cool. It keeps you entertained. It keeps you from reading the posters on the wall about your vagina or about your colon or about your heart, or, it was something to read. Hey, speak truth. And, so I'm reading it, and I get to the part that says, if you don't agree with yearly vaccinations, this is probably not the place, not vaccine. Yes, yearly vaccines. No, it wasn't yearly. It was preventative vaccines. Then this is probably not the place for you. I thought, well, that's kind of rude. But she came in and she sat down, and before she even said hello, I was like, I got a question. I love Frenchies and bulldogs. I like terriers. I like all animals. But I said, I got a question. What's this mean if I don't agree with vaccines? Because I'm telling you right now, I ain't getting no more COVID vaccines. It ain't gonna happen. I did it. I ain't doing it no more. I should be fully vaccinated at this point. And if I'm not, I've had COVID and I made it. Knock on wood. But she goes, like your annual flu shot. And I was looked at her and I said, well, what if I don't get a flu shot? Does that mean you ain't gonna see me no more? And she just kind of brushed it over and went on, talked about something else. So if she does turn out to be the kind of doctor that like pushes me, then I'll fire her first. Because I'm an old person and I don't need somebody telling me what to put in my body. If I get a flu shot, it's because I wanted to get a flu shot. When I worked in the casino, they really pushed the flu shot a lot. And, you know, sometimes it worked out for me, sometimes it didn't. But, well, yeah, keeping up on your kids and your puppy shots. I don't even like giving my dog shots every year. I don't think they need them every year, LaDonna. I think it's a racket. But you got to, because ain't nobody going to groom your dog. No vet is going to see them if they don't have at least their rabies and their distemper and stuff. If Kamala wins, you'll do what she says. No, I won't. Happy. No, I will not. I will dig my heels in. And some of those things that the vets push on you, I don't accept. You know, I mean, my vet gets really mad at me because they want me to give her a Bordetella. I don't do that. She's not boarded. The longest she's ever left in a strange environment is when she's getting groomed. And I'm just going to assume they've all had their shots in there, or they shouldn't be getting groomed there. I do get her rabies. I do get I think dogs get a yearly influenza distemper shot. She gets that one. She gets the bare necessities when it comes to me. Because I just don't believe in pumping chemicals in my dog like that all the time. I've done it. I've been that dog owner where I did everything they asked of me. And it didn't like prolong his life or anything. So, I don't know. You know, by law, she has to have rabies. I don't think you should have to have them yearly. And I think there is one out there you can get that lasts 3 years. But I think it's just pumping more shit into them. But I don't know. I've run my mouth long enough. I'm 52 minutes over. I got to figure out what I'm going to do for dinner. It's 3:15. And I still haven't swept my dining room floor. That's a daily job. Sweeping the hard floors, the hardwood. But I do appreciate y'all coming in. And Bryan, I ain't talking about nobody, so I don't know why you're bringing me up. But y'all have a great day. Try to stay cool. Got the holiday weekend coming up. I don't know if I'll talk to y'all prior to that, but it kind of makes me sad. It's a little bittersweet. It's like the end of summer. That hurts my heart, but it don't hurt my heart getting rid of these 99-degree days. I don't mind that at all. Hello, fall, if it means we can get out of these 99-degree days. So, but if I don't talk to you, have a great holiday weekend. Be safe. You can't be with the ones you love the ones you're with. Isn't that what Crosby, Stills, and Nash? Is that who sang that? Crosby, Stills, and Nash? Is that who sang that? Oh, I wish I'd hear some thunder. We got some rain in the forecast, but it's slim. And if you can't be with the ones you love the ones you're with. Love the ones you're with. Have you never heard that, Sunnyside? Take care, Shauna B. But all of you take care. And yeah, have a safe holiday. And I will see you guys around the Stephen Stills. Thank you, Stellar. See, Crosby, Stills, and Nash. I was close. All right. See you guys around the tubes. Bye, guys.